course, if you're wondering, where was Closer in 2021? He was playing for T1.
He was.
I might have forgotten that, but that was a thing that did happen. Was part of the infamous 10-man roster. As we have Showmaker being forced back, Lucid is really just looking for a steal and to get the hell out of there. Yes, he has topside prio, but taking an early skirmish when you don't have prio in mid, and you have that Yone Rumble combination, definitely not something that you actually want to commit to.
Nope. You can see Morgan actually freed from the lane momentarily as well, so it was going to be very dangerous for DK to stick around there. So a heads-up play, not wanting to go for anything, but still, Deal is so much more powerful as now Beryl going to be able to get the lockdown. There's a death charge on the Hype as well, who has to flash out of the bullet time. Both summoner spells now on cooldown for the Bro 80 carry, and that may put a little bit of a dampener in their early power.
That's a big deal. Ferris is very reliant on those, even though he is playing Lethality, which I do love. I think that was the right call here.
Yes.
Seeing how short range the rest of the D1 position is, but does mean that a possible dive could be in the cards here. Lucid is making his way over.
See what they can get done here as Beryl softening up Polo just a little bit. Does get the wall slam as Lucid looking to come on down. Stefan's presence still there as aiming. He's going to get the cleanse off, and Lucid does go untargetable, but they're unable to lock down any of the kills, and now Croco is making his way in. The flashes are back off cooldown. The Polo comes over, and he'll grab a buckler and slam it into Lucid as now Closer looks for the ulti to flash out from Lucid as Beryl just holding on to his, and DK know that they are already out. And the Bros just trying to force and not quite finding it, although there is the Glacial Prison. Lucid had his finger on the button.
He was ready. Knew that was coming. Oh, the TP.
Another hook going to come on through here as the teleport is coming down. Hype is sticking around because he didn't really have a good direction to go, as there is the surprise Teemo face, and Polu has nowhere to go. It's a double for DK. Sort of catch in theory. Beryl comes on over, does want to be able to share some of that money there, aiming, if you wouldn't mind, good sir.
Heart still stack. Come on, Croco. It's worth it.
Well, he doesn't have any stacks just yet.
I know, that's why you gotta get started early. You know, it's compound interest.
Indeed. So, I mean, okay, Beryl is going to face check perhaps, does land a hook, there's the knock-up onto the Varus as Showmaker's turned up, but the seismic shot goes wide, and now he might be out of position. The ulti comes through though as Shiu turns up and says goodbye to Hype. However, the same thing is happening on the other side. It's a great equalizer from Morgan as Shiu looking to try and escape, and Lucid is going to get caught out. He does survive for a little bit longer, but DK cannot stick around, and the Bros win the fight.
A 3 for 2 in favor of the Bros. We'll get them a dragon as well. Second dragon to come through here.
That's a big one.
Showmaker missing on Hype there actually ends up being a really big deal. He already is not too far behind, but Lethality Varus that's behind the curve. I think it's not as bad as it used to be. I think he scales a lot better than he did, say, a year or two ago. It's still not going to be feeling too great as the Herald fight might be imminent here.
Yeah, Croco taking a little bit of damage as Shelly's getting somewhat aggressive. Lucid feeling like Croco is probably going to run away from this one, and Shelly is going to lose interest, as we can see there. Closer is teleported in, though, towards that top side, and now Lucid looking for an angle towards Morgan, but Closer gets in there at exactly the right time. Equalizer is down, and the hot dog is cooked. Shiu going to fall as well, and the Bros just had the answer.
And DK trying to get a catch there onto a flashless Morgan. And Bro is ready, as you're saying. They knew what was about to happen. Immediate turn comes through. The barbecue taking down the hot dogs as well as...
Closer does find a little bit of an angle here towards the doggo as Lucid going to get spotted out. That should be first blood, and that should also be feats of strength as Polu comes on over. Chains of Corruption just barely picking the gap in the DK members. As now Hype just going to drive Shelly towards the bottom side of the map. Does get a knock up on the Crab as well. So much value here. Showmaker taking a fair bit of damage. And the Crab is going to be finished off. Next dragon going to be up in 30 seconds time as Shiu going to deny the extra crash, thank goodness.
Things are not looking good for DK. They kind of want to fight here, but look at the item finishes for them. Not too great, because they did just lose a whole lot of 2-0s. And Bro right now are feeling good.
Well, this seismic shove is actually going to connect as the bullet time not thrown out just yet. There is a Glacial Prison, though. Equalizer down as well as Lucid going to leap in. Doesn't manage to stop that, but Closer over the wall finds Shiu and Showmaker as then turns his attention towards Lucid. The bullet time's good as Beryl holding them in place, and Shiu dashing around the back of the fight. The wall is going to block them off, but there is so much money on the Bros right now, and Hype is looking to clean it up. A triple kill for this Varus puts him right back into the lead, and the Bros, they ain't brewing, they are cooking today.
That is a soul point for the Bros. Up 4K gold now. and the fights from DK are just not hitting.
Next Dragon as well, because of course it's an ocean. Beryl looking to find an angle here. With the rocks over the wall, that is the option that they're looking for.
Okay,
Otacon has been started. Teleport does come in.
Otacon still stretch you, but their zone control is so good, right? Like it's an Ocean Soul as well. Actually getting access to this pit, I think, might be impossible.
Well, Beryl down to 50% health already.
Lucid doesn't have flash.
He is in position. He's now out of vision as well. He's looking to try and get over. Out goes Beryl, but he hooks himself back in again, doing that real cool Nautilus tech. But there's a steal on the Otacon. The question is, can they keep themselves alive? As knocked off his wall as Showmaker, he's going to get taken down. Lucid, no more untargetability left, and he'll get cut up as well. And yes, the Otacon gets stolen away, but at what cost, ladies and gentlemen? And that is 3 members of DK and probably a bunch of their turrets.
One of those 3 teams is not going to make it to the Legend group, right? And for them, that means missing out on so much practice, because realistically, with what we've seen so far, all of those teams are playoff teams.
Yep.
And it will really hurt their entire year if they're not able to practice, even if you do get beaten against teams like Hanwha, against teams like Gen.G and T1. So I really want to, again, hammer home the stakes. Even a single game drop here as the Ocean Soul is about to get taken for DK is a big deal. It means that KT's not very far behind them. And imagine if they actually lose this series, right? And KT end up winning. DK could just drop into that Rise group.
I mean, there's also a chance on the other side of the coin for the Bros to use this as a springboard to spring themselves into the Legend group.
Yes, that is true.
It is possible.
They are still playing Gen.G.
Right, yeah, but Gen.G's
They need to... Well, actually, if they win this, they can lose to Gen.G. They just need to beat Nongshim, which is doable, and DRX, which, knowing the Bros...
I mean, they should win that.
Yes.
That's probably the one they're going to lose for that exact reason. As the Soul is unbound, but of course it rebinds and everything. But absolutely fine.
The dream is alive.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Again, we're just talking about Game 1. We're not going to get ahead of ourselves.
Well, Beryl is going to have to wander out of Croco here. Does get shoved over the wall, but he's kind of happy about it. Glacial Prison going wide. Beryl still in a whole lot of trouble. Depth Charge going to get a double knockup. He flashes forward, but rebinding the Soul gets him out of the seismic shove, and Beryl able to anchor his way to safety. A few buttons now on cooldown, but it's only really Croco's ultimate that they lose, and Polo, the majority of his health bar is now gone. Edge of Night now down as well for Hype, but you can see they just have so much power, so much control, that it doesn't even really matter. They can take pot shots like this and still retain all of this control.
Breon, the only thing they need to avoid at all costs is giving Elder.
Yeah.
Oh, big ult.
Yeah,
Lucid wasn't able, but they don't have the damage. Like, there's not a lot of people on to Baron. Lucid's going to be able to find a re-entry here.
Yeah, actually, the King's Verdict now on cooldown. They have to peel.
The turn.
They definitely
they are.
Yeah, Weaver's Wall comes in. That means the Showmaker is nowhere near him. That's just Beryl dead. Aiming is now trying to kite away 2 people as Closer does have to go back. A seismic shove going wide once again, but it buys enough space for DMF to make her way out. So, yes, Beryl's dead, down for 20 seconds. Lucid's still in the area. Polo's still waiting for that ulti to come back up again, but it looks like this Baron is still going to go over to the Bros. Unless Lucid finds a nice flip to get himself in.
He doesn't flash.
Yeah, the vision does come over as Lucid. We did not need to see that, did we? That was not exactly what we wanted. She is going to look to trade. He's going to teleport his way up, picks up a bounty after taking down this turret. We could have just been watching that instead of watching that attempted flash over the wall completely fail. All right, Showmaker going to have to get on his surfboard.
Yeah, I didn't know, so I can't remember the Poppy was there, right? Like,
yeah.
So I think in hindsight, using the flash in the first place doesn't feel great, but you want to try and get the flip so you can get the bounty and then at least maybe contest. But there is a Poppy on top of you, so I think it's understandable. Not the easiest flash, even if you are not being pressured. The bigger issue, obviously, is what has been happening before this. With the Soul now, Breon certainly about to push in here for a Game 1 lead.
Yeah, ulti comes through from Closer. It's a little bit forgettable, but still, it's Beryl once again dead. And there is the cleanse out from aiming already. The flash on top there from Croco and a double kill for Hype to start this one off. There's the ulti to come on down as well as Closer is still just going to turn that into even more. Looking for the knock-up, she is going to flash out of the way, but he is the only one left alive, and the Bros, a 10,000 gold lead. Next is turret number 1 going to go down, the second one to follow, and only 2 more after this, and they will have taken down DK and looked to push themselves ever closer towards the Legend group.